The Possession of Hannah Grace stars Shay Mitchell, Kirby Johnson, Stana Katic, and it follows a former police officer who is played by Shay Mitchell, of course. What happens is, at the beginning of the movie, we see his exorcism, and it spirals completely out of control, claiming the life of a young woman named Hannah Grace. Months later, morgue worker Megan Reed, who is a troubled ex-cop, and she takes the graveyard shift, and she's basically friends with Lisa, who is Santa Katic, of course. She's a nurse, and what happens is she takes the delivery of a disfigured cadaver during the shift. Locked inside the basement corridors, Megan starts having horrifying visions that lead her to believe that the body is possessed by demonic force, and of course, therefore, being Hannah Grace. The Possession of Hannah Grace is another guilty pleasure film, but you can't deny this movie's got a lot of things going wrong with it. For one, some of the editing choices here aren't really the best effective, like the way it just cuts from flashback to vision, I should say. I think that could have been a little bit fixed up. I kind of feel like this movie was kind of rushed in the post-production process, and it definitely does show, because this movie does go into the process of weird editing and weird camera movements, honestly. The cinematography, on the other hand, the cinematography is quite good. I do like the cinematography. I do think the cinematography is one of the strongest points here. The directing and writing. The director of this movie is Diederik van Rooijen. It sounds Swedish or something, or Norwegian, but his direction is decent. It's just the script. You don't really get to care too much for the characters here. And also, I do have to say, this movie is a waste of Stana Katic. She's in here for a few moments, but the way she gets killed off is kind of like the lamest way you could have killed somebody. And this movie only cost $6 to $9.5 million, and you only made $6.5 million back. The music is pretty decent. I do like the score by John Frizzell, who's done scary movie music in the past for 13 Ghosts and Ghost Ship and all that. I do like that. The acting is pretty good. Even Stana Katic, she's underused. She does good for what was required of her. The woman who plays Hannah Grace, she's pretty good. Then this is also a bit of a waste of a former Pretty Little Liars actress, just like Truth or Dare was a waste of Lucy Hale. Even though she was great in that movie. Shay Mitchell's great in this movie for her screen time. She is afraid. Emily Fields from Pretty Little Liars is gorgeous. But anyways, y'all already knew that going into this. That what do I think of the main chick? And the rest of the cast is pretty solid here. Now, it does suffer from being boring a little bit, and it does go into the little trend of basically having some very messed up situations and decisions in the writing. But The Possession of Hannah Grace is not as bad as people's made it out to be, but the problem here is that it could have been a better movie for Lucy Hale. Not Lucy Hale. I'm getting the two mixed up. It could have been a better movie for Shay Mitchell. It is a guilty pleasure, but should have been a lot better. And I am going to give The Possession of Hannah Grace a wait for Netflix. You don't really have to rush out to theaters. You can wait for it on Netflix. You can watch it online if you want to. But I would say if you are a fan of Shay Mitchell, and if you are a fan of Shay Mitchell's character from Pretty Little Liars, you're not going to really like this movie that much. So let me know in the comments section down below, what do you think of The Possession of Hannah Grace? Do you like it? Do you hate it? I will see you guys in the next video. This Future Filmmaker 39480. Let's continue the road to 1K subscribers. You guys keep it cool and join the epitasticness. I'll see y'all in the next one. Take care.